Hello. Welcome to another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for review number 166. You caught me having a moment there. I spilled a drop of this in my hands a moment ago when I was pouring it, and I love that smell. If you're new to the whiskey thing, if you ever get a drop in your hands, do that. Rub it in your hands, give it a good, especially when it's smoky. You will get the essence of that smoke. It's just like dried smoke. Love it. I love it. So what are we looking at? Review number 166. Still looking at some peat. Laphroaig Cairdeas, the Warehouse 1 2022 release. You'll see these come out once a year. Friends of Laphroaig, facial release. They'll get called a few things maybe, but it's technically it's a one-off a year sort of thing. And this one, the 2022, the Warehouse 1, bottled at 52.2%. I'm going to suggest non-chill filtered. I'm going to suggest there's no colour at it as well. It gets from what I've read, 7 to 8 years in ex-Maker's Mark casks. So not just bourbon casks, but Maker's Mark, that being Laphroaig. Laphroaig are owned by Beam Suntory as our Maker's Mark. So that's them borrowing from, I suppose, each other. I suppose they must be saving money somehow. I feel I paid around the £80 mark for this in the distillery itself. I see it online. You can still pick this up at time of release of this video, this review, now being November 2022. You can, I've seen this still in the wild. It's still out there. How hard it is to get, I'm not sure. It might be difficult for wherever you're at, but it's definitely still about. So let's get in, shall we? Now I'm going to rhyme off some words here. It might sound like I'm just sticking my nose in this and then rhyming off a lot of words to you. This is from my tasting notes. It's in there. It's in there. Dirty, farmyardy, smoky, mineral, citrusy, sharp, and beautiful. I like this. I went to Islay with one specific reason, to buy this. I did other things, but I was there to buy this. All of that typical Laphroaig sharpness, and I'm going to coin a phrase, I can't remember who it was said this, but I thought it was a classic, hospital fires. Because you get that hospital, you get the medical notes, and a lot of the smoky notes, are actually more so the smoky notes in this case. So, yeah, like a hospital fire. But, and I'm going to put this down to those Maker's Mark wheated bourbon casks, caramel, salted caramel. Yeah, definitely. Now, there's no avoiding the smoke. Absolutely not. But you still get all those caramel notes as well. And along with it, mixed herbs, tropical fruit. There's loads going on here. Loads going on. There's a lovely sweetness about it. A slight brininess once again, which is to be expected. Warehouse 1, Laphroaig's oldest warehouse. You don't get much closer to the water's edge than Warehouse 1 and Laphroaig. So there's bound to be a salinity involved here as well. Those casks are soaking up something. And it's all good. Sharp, round. Yes, smoky. Bitter, sweet arrival. This has got some chew on it. Oh yes. It's got some chew on it. It's also a little tannic originally. Sharp, dry. But that calms down and it does transform. It becomes fuller bodied. It's oaky. It's smoky. It's got dark chocolate. It's got burnt caramel. Oh yeah. Warm honey. sea salt and charred orange. Now, that might sound stupid. What am I talking about? Warm honey, sea salt, and charred orange. I was recently at a whiskey release for something totally different. But there was a cocktail, you know what a lot of these ones do now. They'll put you down a cocktail made with their whiskey. And it was a cocktail which included warm honey, salt, whatever their spirit was, probably lemon juice and stuff like that there, but there was charred orange. They'd burnt some oranges as well and put it in there. And I'm getting those notes in this. It's lovely. Lovely for me. And some of that farmyardy things comes back as well. I don't mind it at all. Finish, sort of medium length. It doesn't, initially, when you're acclimating your palate to this, that finish will be a bit dry again. But go back to that, even your third, fourth sip of this, and the dryness goes way out of it. It is a little metallic, but there are memories of that caramel still hanging around in there. There's citrus, very much so, in the finish. I'm going to add water. I'm going to be relatively generous with the water. 52.2%. It can take it. I know water changes this up. Give it time and it changes it up. Burnt out fireworks. Freshly cut wood. Orange. Hot wood glue. And barbecue burnt ends. It adds more smoke. It adds more of those burnt notes. The addition of water. And that just, add it, give it time. Yeah. It's in the palate that the water really, really does improve this, because it takes any tannic sharpness off it. It gives any sweetness, like it makes it more barley sugar, like. Round, smoky, more chocolate. Yeah. Finish. Yeah. Sweet. Chocolatey. Smoky. Burnt ends. All the stuff I like. All the stuff I like. 80 to 90 pounds, 90 to 100 pounds, somewhere around that. Is it worth it? Yes, for me it is. Yes, there are those out there who say you could buy 2 Laphroaig quarter casks for that. You could. Quarter cask, a good one. This is better. This is better. It's worth the money in my opinion. If you can get it, give it a go. Most definitely. So, I liked it. What would I recommend? Well, this was a bit tough for me actually. I've done that thing again. We've had a bit of a poke around in the cabinets. I've had a bit of a poke around the old noggin and tried to figure out what this reminded me of. And it didn't really remind me of anything I've had in the past. This is a damn good Laphroaig in my opinion. A damn good Laphroaig. So what I'm going to recommend? Well, this is obviously, I wouldn't imagine. There's those who'll know what this is as soon as I put it up. I wouldn't imagine this is anybody that's had this. I wouldn't imagine it's your first peated whiskey rodeo. I would imagine you have had peated whiskies in the past. You're not going to just jump straight in at a Friends of Laphroaig. Surely. Surely. So you want something with a bit of experience. You want something good, some good peated. I could have. Well, what else? Where else would I went? Well, I suppose if you went down that mineral path, I would maybe look at the likes of Port Charlotte or maybe even one of the Octomores or something, because it is quite heavily peated. It is smoky. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Maybe Laphroaig, but a good heavily peated. This is Kilkerran heavily peated. This is batch 5 for anybody who's caring. The Laphroaig sharper, I said tannic. More citrusy probably. The Kilkerran, this one not open yet, but I've had this. The Kilkerran, creamier, youthful, or feels more youthful, maybe a bit more estery. So it's they're different. There's no denying they're different. Why I've brought this out is if you've moved on to Laphroaig and you've moved on to like a Cairdeas or something like that, even the Laphroaig Lower or something, you've moved on. You're serious about your whiskey. That's what I'm aiming at. So if you're serious about your whiskey, if you're serious about your peated whiskey, and you haven't, give Kilkerran Heavily Peated a go. Different beasts, but if you're serious about your whiskey, and you must already be serious about peated whiskey, I would imagine if you've moved to this stage, then here's a couple of whiskies that I think you should, or certainly here's one that I would recommend you should give a go to. There, oh, that was a struggle. I tried to explain my way out of that. No, definitely. Love it. Love it. I know there are those out there. It's not for everybody. I know there are those who have had other great peated whiskies and didn't necessarily enjoy this. There's a certain reviewer in Belgium, whose name I won't mention, this didn't necessarily do it for. That's fine. That's the thing about it, isn't it? We all have different tastes. We all enjoy different things. So, fair enough. Fair enough. We'll leave it there. I don't want to dig any holes. I don't want to upset anybody. And we'll just say, yes, Laphroaig Cairdeas Warehouse one, I like. I'll walk away and say thank you very much for joining me. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. If you should wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. Till the next time, my friends, here's your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.